So hello, week 2 of my £50 challenge, which I know isn't sort of an extreme challenge like some people do, living on £1 for a day and all of that, but I'm just being realistic, and this is a way that I'm going to be able to save some money and just be more accountable with what I'm spending. So yeah, I'm not doing anything extreme, but for me this is a challenge. So today I'm going to go to Morrisons. It isn't a supermarket that I normally use. So I'm also trying to use supermarkets that, generally speaking, I wouldn't normally go to. There might be one that I use quite regularly. I'll probably do Tesco one week, for example, which is one I would normally use. But Morrisons I rarely use. I do find it actually a little bit expensive sometimes. That's why I wouldn't do a general shop there. Oh, there's Daisy the dog in the back, look. She's had a shower this morning, so she's not very happy. So yeah, I'm going to try and do the £50 challenge here. So same as last week, I'm going to try and go under the £50 so that I've got money left over for top-up shops. So for example, I've had to buy bread and some fruit and salad this week, and I was doing really well. I got a couple of quid left and I had to go out and buy some milk because my son has taken to drinking endless cups of tea for some reason, and we're getting through more milk than usual. So I did have to pop out last night and spend the last of the money on some milk. I got some strawberries yesterday from the market because they're in season and they are absolutely delicious at the moment. So I have bought sort of bits and bobs, but yeah, I've done it. I've been able to stay within that £50 challenge, which means I've been able to stay within my monthly target so far. I have realised that I've made an error in that when I did my beginning of the month sort of stock, I didn't buy dog food pouches, which for a month are obviously quite expensive. So I will need to buy some more of those out of one of my £50 shops. If I see them today in Morrisons and they're a reasonable price or they're on offer, I will pick them up. But yeah, I'm going to have to buy those before the end of the month, so I will need to factor that in. But as I said before, beginning of the month I do a big stock up, so I get coffee and cheeses and tinned tomatoes and lots of different things, box of crisps, things that we use throughout the month. I buy those in bulk from Costco and also from where my husband works, because they're cheaper from there. So I do buy some bulk items. So what you'll see at the end of this shop isn't everything for the week. I do have stuff in the freezer. I do have stuff in the fridge and the cupboards. So I'm not being dishonest in what I'm shopping. But yeah, let's go for it. Let's go to Morrisons, see what we can do there. I've got a list. Hold on. Just see the back of my car for a second there. I do have a list of what I actually need this week. So I should have been prepared and got this out. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So here's proof that I do have a bit of a list. I mean, it's not the tidiest and most organised of lists. So I could do with some more nuts, some tinned lentils, some frozen peas, a couple of toiletry items, some sausage rolls for my son, some squash. Buy that every week because, as you know, even though my son's now drinking cups and cups of tea, we get through a phenomenal amount of squash, and just some yogurts and some butter and some sweet corn. So they're what I sort of know that I need. But I'm not great for sticking to lists. I will just have a wander around the shop and see what they've got on offer, and sort of use that. I don't meal plan rather, so I do tend to see what they've got in the shops and what's on offer and sort of meal plan around that. So anyway, going to Morrisons, see you on the other side. So here we are, back from Morrisons, and all I can say is wow, and not in a good way. I was right about Morrisons. Not the cheapest place to shop in the whole wide world. Sorry, I'm just picking my receipt up that's dropped on the floor. Yeah, I was not impressed. So it was expensive, and then the things that were sort of a reasonable price, probably not the best quality. And it's one of those supermarkets I always find that puts less in your packaging and charges you the same amount, if not more, which I always think, yeah, I'm not that stupid. You're conning me. But anyway, it is what it is. So I spent £45.90, sorry, yeah, £45.87, sorry, which is so much of the budget, considering that at Aldi last week I still had £15 left after this shop to top up, so I'm going to have to be really, really careful. I do have quite a lot of bread in still, so I didn't buy any bread products. So anyway, here we go. So it's not very well organised, so apologies, I've just literally put it on the table. Corn picnic eggs, £1.50 on offer, so my son does really like those, so I bought those for him. Some vegan chicken slices for my husband. Now I'm just looking because I thought I bought, yeah, so they got an offer on, I think they're £2.60 normally each, but they got an offer on 2 for 4. So I bought 2 packs. I've already got 1 pack still in the freezer in the fridge from last week, but I checked the dates on them. I've got quite long dates, so this will probably actually run through to next week. Bought some butter because we're running a little bit low. Again, butter's so expensive, but this was £1.99, which I still think is expensive, but I guess that's what it costs for own brand. I just bought a little bit more Greek yogurt for me that I have with berries and flaxseed. This was £2 something, nearly £3 I believe. I'll look on the receipt later, but so expensive. But I try and buy as much as I can from Costco beginning of the month, but I didn't buy as much this month. It just works out a lot cheaper to do it that way. Wonky peas, I prefer petit pois, call me a snob, whatever, but they were really, really expensive in Morrisons, so these were just 99p, so I thought go for those. Vegan sausage rolls for my son because he takes those in packed lunches. Strawberries, all the strawberries were really expensive, so I just went with the cheap pack. I think these were £1.79, but because they're in season, even though they're the cheaper, smaller ones, they actually look really quite juicy and nice, so good time of year to buy the cheap ones. Just got 2 cucumbers. I think they were 80 odd p each. Cucumbers are getting so expensive, and my son does like snacking on them, but I just had to be really conscious. I think I've still got a whole one left over, so got 2 of those. I wanted some oven chips just for convenience. This was actually the cheapest way of buying them because they were on offer, I think £1.59 or something, so yeah, that was the cheapest way. Yogurts, my husband only really likes these kinds of yogurts. If you saw last week's shop, got a much cheaper version from Aldi. These were £2.20, and they had nothing else sort of comparable or cheaper. They were so expensive. I wouldn't normally buy the branded ones unless they were on offer, but because there were no brand options similar in our Morrisons, I had to go for those. So he does still have a couple left from last week, but yeah, so expensive. Tomatoes, the cheap tomatoes didn't look very appetising at all, but these were 2 for £3 of these cocktail speciality tomatoes, so I thought they look okay, and £3 not too bad for 2 packs. These tubes or whatever they're called for my son, he has them along with his breakfast quite often, so they were £1.20. So probably about normal price. Sorry, malt loaf was on offer. That was £1, so my husband likes that as well, so I thought that could actually be some desserts for the week, so for him, so that's good. Got 4 bags of salad, as you probably remember, or you know if you've seen my videos before. Really like my salad, so I will get through these. I checked the dates. I'm going to sort of eat them in date order, but there's a little bit of date life on them, so I will get through those. But because they were on offer, I thought, yeah, why not? Actually, thinking about it now, I was thinking 4 for £4. Oh, that's a really good offer, but that actually makes them £1 each. And I think that one's less than £1 normally anyway. And I know that if I go to Tesco and get whatever's on offer that week, they tend to be about 80 odd p. So actually, I didn't think about this when I went in. That's not particularly a bargain, but it is what it is. I've got them now. These were on offer to £1.20, I believe, so my son can have those for some breakfast. I needed some more nuts. Again, the nut selection was not great and very, very, very expensive. So these were £2 just for these. They're just peanuts and cashews, but I thought I needed some. I needed to stick to one shop because that was what I planned. So yeah, it is what it is. 6 Brabant apples for £2, and they will pick your own, as you can see. So actually that's not too bad because they're quite, I looked at them, they look like really good quality, so got those. Sweet corn, because I've been making a vegetable soup which works out really cheap, and I've been able to perfect it a little bit so it tastes very much like the Heinz vegetable soup, but obviously doesn't have all of the additives and stuff in, so that's good. Butter beans, they were quite good price, 49p, which is pretty much standard. Lentils, really annoyed at this. They didn't have any own brand lentils or any cheap lentils, or as in ready to cook lentils. I know I should buy dried ones, but I'm used to sort of just picking up tins for 40 odd p in most supermarkets. But these were 75 and they were reduced from £1 on offer. So they're a good quality brand, but you know, lentils are lentils at the end of the day, and this was the cheapest way of buying them today. Passata 55p, I suppose that's pretty standard price for supermarket home brand. Got my obligatory toothpaste, as you know. I like to have plenty stocked up. So yeah, bought another one. Anyway, yeah, we got plenty of toothpaste. Another deodorant for my son or husband, just to put away. Just always like to have one spare because they don't tell me when they've run out. So yeah. Salted peanuts, bit of a treat. These, quite a big bag actually. It's quite a substantial bag. I suppose this wasn't too bad. This was £2, so not disappointed too much with that. 2 bottles of squash, 89p each. No, not 89p, sorry, 99p each. But it is double concentrate. So again, that was quite a good price at Morrisons, to be fair to them. And didn't buy any spuds this week because my stepdad came round last night and he bought me some lovely potatoes from his allotment. So we shall be using those in recipes and things this week. So didn't have to buy any potatoes. So that's good. So overall, yeah, a couple of reasonably priced things, couple of bargains, but nothing like a major bargain. Overall, found it quite expensive. This was like the cheapest way of doing it. I could have spent a lot more money if I hadn't have been quite so careful, even though I'm very disappointed that I let myself down with the salads, but I'm not perfect. So yeah, there we go. That leaves me just over £4 left for the week to buy sort of bread and any other items we need. So just need to be a little bit conscious this week. So there you go, Morrisons. Don't think I'll be using you in the future. Sorry. Bye.